On the evening of June 5th, 1944, a massive formation of C-47 aircraft lifted off from RAF North Witham, headed for Normandy. Their mission, codenamed Mission Albany, is to drop large numbers of paratroopers behind the D-Day invasion beaches. 30 minutes ahead of them, pathfinders of the 101st U.S. Airborne Division are already on their way. They are the first American troops to land in German-occupied France. Several waves of paradrops will follow, and a large number of troop-carrying gliders will bring in the airborne assault troops. Your orders are to place 3 radio beacons, which will guide the other aircraft in. The overall objective for Mission Albany is to secure the 4 causeways that will allow the invading U.S. force to exit Utah Beach. However, the Germans can't be expected to let the Americans take over, and the Pathfinder's task is far from easy. Right now, 2 hours after takeoff, the C-47s approach Drop Zone C from the west. This drop zone is 1 mile west of Sainte-Marie-du-Mont. Less than 1 hour into D-Day, the Screaming Eagles 501st Parachute Infantry Regiment jumps into action. June 6th, 1944. It's been a year since the first paradrops in Sicily and Italy, and now the 82nd is on its way to France. In the early hours of D-Day, they will jump over Normandy. It's been hours since the C-53 took off from RAF Cottesmore. While crossing the English Channel, the formation had to stay very low to remain under German radar coverage. Right now, the flight is just above the clouds, on the final leg flying east to Drop Zone O. A couple miles away, flak tracers are seen going up in the night sky. The 505th doesn't encounter any of it, fortunately. There's just a single yet ambitious objective for the 505th Battalion. Take the village of St. Mary-Église and do it quickly. The drop zone is just northwest of the town. The plan is to assemble and then move southeast toward it. Shortly before 0200, the 505th jumps into the night, oblivious to the fact that the formation June 6th, 1944. It's been about 7 hours since you made the big jump. This drop was one of many in support of Operation Overlord, which is in full swing by now. The flight from RAF Apatry Air Base took hours. Flak over the drop zone was heavy, and the paradrops are scattered over an area twice the size the plan outlined. You've spent most of the night moving towards your main objective and regrouping with your Easy Company comrades along the way. After daybreak, you arrive at Le Grand Chemin, a small village between Sainte-Marie-du-Mont and Utah Beach. Your overall objective is still to secure the 4 designated causeways behind Utah Beach, and to do everything you can to secure these beach exits for the U.S. 4th Infantry Division. They've been ashore since 0630, so the pressure is on Easy Company to get those objectives completed. The company's headquarters section is missing in action this morning, so your orders are to report to Battalion HQ, Lieutenant Winters. Daybreak on D-Day. The paradrop part of Mission Boston, the biggest airborne operation to date, is complete. The 82nd Airborne is on the ground in Normandy. Not everything went right. The cloud base over the drop zone and the German flak was dense. As a result, every unit has been scattered over a big area, and contact with the enemy has not helped the situation. You've spent hours of darkness trying to find your comrades using your cricket clicker. So far, you've only found a fraction of the planned force. After a short head count, it's clear that this is going to be one hell of a day. That doesn't change the fact that you have orders to follow, and they are very clear. Seize the causeways and bridges of the Meurthe River to block German access to the beaches. Your group is tasked with taking the bridge at La Fière and holding it until the U.S. Army arrives from Utah Beach. Your task is vital. Once the bridge is taken, the enemy can no longer approach Sainte-Marie-Église from the west or reach the roads to the invasion beaches. So take the bridge, dig in, and wait for the army to relieve you. June 12th, 1944. It's been almost a week since you parachuted into France, and it's been one hell of a week. The fighting has been intense. The Germans are not ready to give up Normandy, and several fierce counterattacks have proven this battle is far from over. Carrington, with its multitude of bridges over the River Douve and the Carrington Canal, is the next strategic objective to be taken by the Screaming Eagles. The Germans are still holding the line, hoping to keep the bridges open for any counterattack they might organize. However, it appears they do not have many troops to do the job. It's clear that whoever holds Carrington holds the key to the Contentum Peninsula. If the 101st takes Carrington, our Utah and Omaha Beach forces can unite to form a continuous front. Your regiment, the 506 PIR, will approach Carrington from the south. Your orders are to take the railroad station. In support of your push, the 401st Glider Infantry Regiment will attack from the opposite side of town. You must start moving north immediately. However, be cautious not to run into German ambushes. Carrington must be ours by nightfall. Failure is not an option. The 101st has been in action constantly since it jumped into Normandy over a week ago. The Screaming Eagles have achieved almost all of their immediate objectives. German resistance is stubborn, and the 101st has had its share of casualties. Last week, the battles were all about the beach exits, but now it's time to go on the offensive. After clearing Carrington yesterday, it's time to push forward to capitalize on this win. This is going to be a big one because of its obvious tactical importance. Control of the Carrington area is essential if the invasion forces from Utah and Omaha beaches are to link up and form a combined front. It's obvious that the Germans are not going to give up Carrington without a fight. You are about to go on the offensive west of Carrington in an attempt to secure the entire area and create a buffer around the town. The 506 will strike southwest, using the roads to Deauville. You will be in easy company, covering the far right flank. HQ has already sent scouts forward along the axis of attack, and depending on what they report, we will proceed. Report to battalion for further orders and prepare for what could well be a bloody battle. It's September 17th, 1944. Operation Market Garden, a daring combined attack by the 1st Allied Airborne Army and 30 Corps, starts today. Allied airborne troops are to be dropped at the main objectives. They need to secure multiple bridges and hold them until the ground forces arrive. The British ground forces have begun moving north along Highway 69, destined for Arnhem. If the attacks succeed, it will bring the Allies all the way to the Rhine River and across. The resulting strategic situation would pose a direct threat to the German industry in the Ruhr area by crossing the last natural barrier that might stop the Allies from entering Germany proper. To achieve this ambitious goal, 9 road bridges must be secured to allow 30 Corps to drive all the way to Arnhem. They will be advancing through Eindhoven and Nijmegen, destined for Arnhem. You have been paradropped near Nijmegen with the 82nd All-American Airborne Division. After the drop, your objective is to secure the road bridge. Moving north, you need to advance through the city. The Germans are still there, in positions between you and the road bridge. They may be street fighting veterans. We don't know. You'll have to clear them out before you can get to the bridge. Gather your men, fight your way to the bridge, and take it. On September 22nd, 1944, having secured Wachel 5 days earlier, the 101st is thrown into battle once more. The Allied ground forces approach from the south along Highway 69, the only road available for their advance. This traffic artery links Eindhoven, Wachel, and Nijmegen to Arnhem, and has been nicknamed Hell's Highway because it offers no cover whatsoever, leaving any vehicles exposed while the area is easy to defend. Its strategic significance is evident, and its nickname is justified. If 30 Corps is to succeed, it needs protection against German attacks. The Germans are aware of its importance and will likely attempt to take control of the highway. Your position just south of Wachel must be fortified to repel any German counterattacks from the west, so the corridor remains open for Allied tanks to progress towards Arnhem. Start preparing your defense immediately. The Germans may advance on the road alongside the canal or advance through the surrounding fields, presenting multiple threats. Use all available resources to fend off enemy attacks and prevent the narrow stretch of highway from falling into German hands. With Operation Market Garden's success hanging in the balance, the importance of your task cannot be overstated. December 19th, 1944. Just 3 days ago, a German surprise offensive smashes through the Allied lines in the Ardennes. With bad weather grounding the Allied air forces, the Germans have an opportunity to advance unimpeded. Initially, they progress rapidly towards their objective, Antwerp. The German left flank has orders to cross the Meuse rivers at Dinant and Namur. Without these bridges, a push to Antwerp is simply out of the question. To reach these crossings, the Germans will need to use the roads leading west from Bastogne. Control over this town is absolutely crucial. The 2nd Panzer Division intends to pass through Nouville to outflank the Bastogne defenders from the north. However, in Nouville, a battalion-sized force from the 10th Armored Division blocks their way. They're holding on for dear life, and in doing so, they're buying time to organize the defense of Bastogne. The 1st Battalion of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment moves forward to reinforce them. Belgium, December 1944. The Germans have launched a massive surprise attack in the Ardennes, intending to capture Brussels and Antwerp. On the north flank, the route to Brussels leads past Airborne Ridge, which dominates the area. If the Germans want to cross the Meuse, they need to pass this ridge or take it. The 277th Volksgrenadier Division is sent to take the ridge and the villages around it. Meanwhile, Kampfgruppe Pfeiffer has continued west into the Amblève River Valley. Using the fuel they captured at the Hansfeld U.S. Army Depot, the Germans probed the valley, looking for a suitable route across the many bridges in the area. Today, they've moved past Stavelot and Troyes-Ponce and are approaching Basse-Bordeaux. The 82nd Airborne Division is one of the few U.S. units available to block the German advance. The situation is desperate. If the Germans cross here, they will acquire all the fuel they need from the local fuel depot. Worse still, they will be able to advance freely. That's why you have been brought here. Secure the bridge and ensure that the Germans cannot use it. Belgium, December 1944. The fierce struggle playing out in the Ardennes is reaching a critical phase. Bastogne, an important crossroad, is vital for the Germans to take if they want to continue west in force. The town is completely surrounded by the German 5th Army, led by von Manteuffel. Despite the heroics of the defenders in Nouville and elsewhere, the perimeter has shrunk, and now all of the pressure is on Bastogne. The Screaming Eagles are still holding out. Their commander, General McAuliffe, has rejected a German offer to surrender. His reply was too vulgar to be repeated in letters the troops would send home. The Germans, slightly surprised by the answer, have no choice but to prepare an all-out attack on the town. It's only a matter of time before a massive assault will begin. Because the Germans routinely attack at dawn, there is little time to prepare for the onslaught. You need to do everything within your power to dig in and organize the defense. Your sector is just outside Bastogne, covering a road that leads into the town. Hold that road at any cost. Germany, April 1945. After the Battle of the Bulge and after helping to secure the Ruhr, the 82nd Airborne Division drive into Germany, advancing on Ludwigslust, which is on the other side of the Elbe River. Today is Hitler's birthday, but outside the Fuhrer bunker, no one is celebrating. Anyone in their right mind can see that the war is ending. Despite this, isolated incidents take place every day, proving that not every German is prepared to surrender. It's not allowed for German civilians or soldiers to show white flags as a sign of surrender. Anyone waving a white flag runs the risk of being executed on the spot. Some of the more fanatical German units and individuals can still spring surprises, even if they do not affect the outcome. The 82nd knows full well what might still happen as it enters the hamlet of Marendorf. In this mission, your unit advances to Dretham, which is on the Elbe River. After taking Dretham, crossing the river can be considered only if the area is secure. Just make sure you don't get killed with the end of the war this close.